Episode 9. When one door closes, another opens. There was a season in my life when everything felt uncertain. I stood before a tightly shut door, an opportunity one had long prayed for, a path I had desperately wished to walk. I knocked and knocked again. Each time, the door remained cold, silent, unyielding. The more it refused to open, the heavier my heart grew. In my prayers, I cried out, "Lord, why have you closed this path for me? Did I not walk in faith? Did I not trust you enough?" But heaven seemed silent, and doubts crept into my heart like a rising tide. Days turned into weeks, weeks blurred into months. Still, the door stood firm, like a wall between me and my hopes. There were nights I sat alone, wrestling with disappointment, questioning whether I had misunderstood God's voice. Maybe it's my fault, I thought. Maybe I'm not worthy. Yet deep within, a quiet whisper stirred. Keep walking. I didn't understand it, but I obeyed. Step by step, though my heart was weary, I moved forward. Some days, all I could do was take one small step. Other days, I stumbled under the weight of discouragement. But I kept walking. And then, one day, unexpectedly, I found it. A different door. One I had never noticed before, hidden along the path I hadn't planned to walk. It wasn't grand or loud. It stood simply, quietly open. When I stepped through, I found a road filled with light. So much brighter, so much more beautiful than anything I had asked for. Tears welled up in my eyes. Only then did I realize God hadn't rejected me. He was guiding me to something far better than what I had imagined. Sometimes, God closes doors not to punish us, but to protect us, to redirect our steps toward the greater things He has prepared. As it is written, "Beloved, do not be surprised at the fiery ordeal that has come on you to test you, as though something strange were happening to you. But rejoice inasmuch as you participate in the sufferings of Christ, so that you may be overjoyed when His glory is revealed. Because even closed doors are part of His grace." Episode 10. Light in the Darkest Days. There were days when it felt like the darkness swallowed everything. No matter how hard I prayed, the weight of the world pressed down, heavy and unmoving. The nights were the hardest, cold, silent, empty. I would lie awake, wondering if heaven had turned its face away from me. "God, have you forgotten me?" I whispered into the stillness. "Have my cries been lost in the wind?" But even in the deepest night, a tiny flicker of light stirred inside my heart. It was fragile, barely a breath, like a candle struggling against a storm. Yet it was there, and it whispered softly, "I am still here. Keep going." Each day, I clung to that small light. Sometimes, it seemed almost to vanish, and my fears threatened to snuff it out. But I chose, again and again, to believe in its presence, even when I couldn't see it. Over time, the light grew stronger. It began to warm the frozen places inside me. My loneliness, my grief, my doubts. It illuminated the wounds I had buried deep, and slowly, healing began. It wasn't sudden. It wasn't dramatic. But like a dawn that slowly pushes away the night, hope returned. And I realized something beautiful. God had never abandoned me. Even when all seemed lost, He was closer than my own breath. As it is written, "The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it." Because sometimes, the brightest light is found not in the absence of darkness, but shining through it. Episode 11. The Gift Hidden in Trials. There was a season when it felt like everything in my life was falling apart. Doors slammed shut. Dreams crumbled. I lost friends I thought would stay forever. I lost opportunities one had worked years to build. And in the middle of all the rubble, I asked God, "Why? Why would you allow this?" Silence, pain, confusion. It was as if I was walking through a wilderness with no map, no sign of the way home. I wanted quick answers. I wanted immediate relief. But God was doing something deeper. He wasn't punishing me, He was pruning me, cutting away the dead branches I had clung to so tightly. teaching me to rely not on my own strength, but on his faithfulness. In the nights I wept, he gathered my tears. In the days I stumbled, he steadied my feet. Looking back now, I realize the things I thought were losses were actually gifts. They forced me to let go of what was temporary and cling to what is eternal. They stripped away the noise so I could hear his voice more clearly. As it is written, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance." James 1 verses 2-3. God never wastes our pain. Every trial is a seed, planted in sorrow, but destined to bloom in his perfect time. Episode 12. When God's timing feels too slow. I had prayed for so long, day after day, month after month, even year after year, waiting, hoping, believing, and yet, nothing.
No breakthrough, no miracle.
No sign that God had even heard me. There were moments when the waiting felt unbearable, moments when I wanted to give up, moments when bitterness crept into my heart like a slow, cold poison. Lord, where are you? Why is your promise taking so long? But slowly, quietly, God began to show me, delay is not denial. Waiting is not wasted. In the silence, he was shaping my heart. In the waiting, he was building my faith. Like a gardener tending seeds buried deep in the soil, God was at work, even when I couldn't see a thing. And when his timing finally arrived, oh, how sweet the harvest was. As it is written, "But if we hope for what we do not yet have, we wait for it patiently." Romans 8 verse 25. Because his timing is never late. It's always exactly right, and always worth the wait.